Joining me on the line now is a man who has a better scoring ratio in Old Firm derbies than the great Henrik Larsson himself. Former Ireland, Celtic and Bohemians midfielder Paul Byrne, thanks very much for joining me this afternoon.
It's a pleasure.
Now Paul, as I alluded to there, you had a great scoring record against Rangers during your time at Celtic. Do those goals still stick out in the memory?
Yes, it's them type of goals that actually bring you back to playing the likes of these games on a Saturday, which they're called Legends games. And you know yourself, there's plenty of Celtic fans all over the world, and they'll always clash as a legend once you score against Rangers in an Old Firm derby.
Would you still get much recognition for those 2 goals now?
Oh yes, it's Celtic fans and Shamrock Rovers fans and people like that never forget what you've done for Glasgow Celtic. The history behind the club was a fantastic club. A good friend of mine, Barry Lenihan, is there now, and yes, when I ever went back across to Scotland, I'm always welcome to open arms.
And even going back in time, I suppose there's no better feeling than getting one over the old rival.
Oh, it was great. The team that I played in at the time, the likes of Paul McStay and Packy and, Tony Mowbray and Peter Grant, people are still involved in the game today. It was a great experience for me, a young lad coming from Dublin at 20 years of age, going to one of the biggest clubs in Europe, possibly in the world, and never thought in a million years that I was actually going to go into the first team. I thought I was going to be there for 2 years and then back home because I didn't think I would have been good enough. But the way it worked out, that Liam Brady gave me my chance, and I went on to play 8 times against Rangers and scored twice. You
mentioned Liam Brady there. Is it true that you actually lived with Liam for a couple of months and you went over first?
I lived for Liam Brady for 6 months with him and his family, and I owe Liam a hell of a lot to do with my career. People always said to me, all you got to do is work hard because the ability is there. And Liam made sure I did work hard, and with Liam being playing in Italy, the good eating habits that he brought to his game, he fed them down through to me when I was living with him, and the two things clicked together. I was working hard, eating well, and living with the manager, so I was down to getting the game in the first team.
So did Liam have any annoying habits living with him, or was he an argumentative sort back then, like he is on the old panel these days?
No, I think that's the thing with Liam is on the telly. Liam is just honest. He's just straight to the point, and he's honest. And sometimes you come across as he's having a bit of a go at someone, but he's not. He's just giving he's there on the telly to give his honest opinion, and that's what he does. Liam was a fantastic coach. He was a fantastic man, and I learned a hell of a lot from him. But one of the habits that Liam always had was his nickname was Chippy. So it didn't really help me when he was eating chips and I was sitting there eating salads.
Yeah, I'd say that was tough enough, all right, Paul.
Yeah, very tough.
Now, one of your teammates on Saturday at Kilbogget Park against Cabinteely is, of course, Ronnie Whelan, and he was your manager at Southend. How would you describe your time there in the English game at Southend?
Yeah, Ronnie was again, he's a fantastic footballer. Played in one of the greatest Liverpool teams that ever graced grass, and he was a pleasure to work for. When Liam or Ronnie told you something, you knew from experience that they knew they were talking about, and you went out and done it. And when you did go out and do the things they asked you to do, it did help you as a player, and it did improve my game.
Will it be a bit weird now playing with Ronnie on Saturday? Seems he was once your manager, now you'll be having to pass the ball to him at Kilbogget Park.
Well, actually, it was funny. Actually, when I first Southend, Ronnie was still playing, and I played with Ronnie in Southend, and I think that's how he got an extra 6 months out of his career, because he was using my legs.
Yeah, I'm sure he might have a different thing to say about that.
He probably would. You'd have to ask him that.
Yeah. Now, you left Celtic in 1995 for good, and of course went to Southend, but 4 years later you're back playing in the League of Ireland. Were you slightly disappointed by that the career kind of never really hit the heights of Parkhead again?
Yeah, it was like everything else. I had a sort of a roller coaster career, and when things came good for me, I sort of put my foot off the gas a little bit, and on and off the field basically. And it was when I left Southend, I felt there was no really way back. I was after going from Celtic, Southend had just been relegated, and they were going down as a bit. And I thought to myself, League of Ireland at this time was very strong with the likes of Tucky O'Connor, Smoney, the Gagans and all, and Lucy Fenton still all playing in the league. So I felt I actually came back to Glenavon in the north under a manager that I was at Bangor, which was Nigel Best. And I came home, it didn't work out at Glenavon, but I came home and eventually signed for Bowes, and I went on to win the league and the cup double with Roddy Collins. And there was good times. I'm not going to say, but I left home at 13. I was playing in Oxford's first team at 15. So I think, a lot of people go away at 18, 19, maybe 20 and play through to their 35 or 36. But I was the opposite. I went away with 13, broke into the first team at 15, and I was home at 28. So that was just unfortunate. But I think if I was still playing today, I'd be probably getting international caps and probably playing at a high standard.
Now, you mentioned international there. How good were you to just miss out of that 1994 World Cup squad?
Yeah, there's another player going to be in the squad on Saturday that I don't know whether to shake his hand or kick, which is Jason McAteer. He got his chance with Big Jack, and I didn't get on the pitch. He got on the pitch, done really well, and he moved on in his international career and done very well for Ireland.
I suppose it swings and roundabouts, I suppose you could say.
Yeah, you got to take the good with the bad, but mine was all bad.
Yeah, you had a good time.
Unfortunately, shall I say?
We had a good time with Bohemians, obviously winning the double and 3 FAI Cup finals as well. But look at Bohemians this year now. How would you rate their chances of silverware?
I think Bowes, I think Pat and Liam O'Brien are doing an excellent job with the young boys that they brought in. It's unfortunate the way the club has gone financially, and over the years, Bowes have been up there, and over the years, they've been sort of dropped down a bit, and I'm sure they'll be back again with a good manager like Pat and Liam O'Brien involved with it. I think Rovers are very, very strong this year. A good, strong squad. They set their stall out, a good structure that the wages were going to be a certain wage, and if you attracted that player to attract that type of wage, you went there and you knew what you were getting. There was nobody going to be on big money. Everybody's going to be on an even playing field, and I think you see that it actually works in the end.
And so even though we say we've 8 teams kind of clumped around the top of the Electricity League, do you still see Shamrock Rovers running away with it?
I still see Pats live down the road here from St. Pat's, and I think Pats are doing very, very well under the man and Giller, and now with an excellent coach to come into the club, Aaron Callahan, and they set their stall out and they're structured very well, and they've got young players, and they're playing as a unit. I think they will thereabouts. Bowes are very not. They're still up there, but they're not as strong as previous years.
And what about your other former club, Dundalk? Do you think they have a chance of maybe European qualification or anything like that?
Yeah, I think Devil's doing a very good job at Bray.
That's it. Yeah.
He's got the young lads playing for him, and I think it's half the battle when the players respect the manager, regardless whether they're on big money or small money. If you respect your manager and he respects and he believes in your ability, I think you go out and give 100%. And if you've got 11 players respecting the manager, you've got a decent chance of pulling off results in that league.
Now, and just moving away from that now, apart from lining out with the Legends teams, what are you yourself up to these days? Still involved with the game?
Yes, I'm still involved. I run my own coaching, my coaching schools. It's called Premier Skills. And I'm actually doing, in and out of a few clubs, coaching a few coaches. I linked in with a lad called John Carter, who was the FAI. He won the FAI Youth Cup with Crystal Palace for 3 years in a row. The manager's ever done it. And he was involved with England youths for 20 odd years. And he came up with his own methodology on street football. The game should be played, and he's brought it back to grassroots. And I've fell in love with his methodology. I'm out there now delivering the different skills to the kids in local areas.
And just mentioning kids there, I suppose your older son Curtis, he's playing for Ross County these days, and oddly enough, he made his senior debut for Hibs against Celtic. That was kind of ironic, I suppose. But how's he getting on these days?
Yeah, he was home and he was in good spirits. Last season he was playing for Hibernian. He's a slight young fella. He's tall, but he's slight. And I think in the Premier Division, if you're not going to be Rangers or Celtic that play like football, they're looking for players that are going to knock the ball 60, 70 yards up into the air. They're going to compete with big centre halves, and it's going to be knockdowns, and they're going to feed on scraps. And I don't think Curtis is that type of player. He's slight and he's a footballer. He's got a footballing brain, and he went out on loan last year to East Fife, and he got 11 goals in 13 games. And then he went on loan with Steve Crawford, was the manager at the time, and Steve Crawford is now at Cowden Beef, and he just says Curtis is going to be a complete player. And now the assistant manager that was at Hibs under Collierwood has got the Ross County job, and the first person he's found pre-season was Curtis. So, when a manager wants you, and you're as I said to you a few minutes ago, it's when a manager wants you and you want to play for the manager.
Crucial.
I think it brings the best out on you, and I think he's going to be one to look out for this year. I think he's going to score a few goals this year and have a few clubs banging on the door next season.
Well, we'll wish him all the best of luck anyway. And you mentioned manager there now. Who's going to be managing the Legends team on Saturday, or who's going to be the main voice in the dressing room in Kilbogget Park against Cabinteely?
Well, basically how the things come together is that I feel I'm going to be doing a few things now over the next couple of months, and one of them is going to be I'm going to bring Shamrock Rovers to play against the Celtic Legends on the 20th of August. I'm going to run that, I feel, and I'm going to bring Liverpool over September to play against a League of Ireland selection. I just feel that we've got a lot of players in this country that's put a lot of time and effort into League of Ireland, and once they finish, they're just left on the shelf. And I feel this is a way now that the Liverpool Legends, the Celtic Legends, and people like that could actually come over and play against the League of Ireland Legends and raise some money for a charity. The Liverpool game is going to be for Chernobyl, and we got another one. The Celtic one is going to be for the Teen Line in Tallaght. So I just think it's a win-win situation. The lads are getting
the recognition. Yeah.
Well, the pros are coming over to recognise what they're giving up for charity and what they do for charity. And the League of Ireland players are going to get a chance to regroup together again and meet together and have a game against these boys. And the crowd are going to see these ex-players all on the one pitch. And I think it's going to be great.
And how serious do the Legends take it now? Will Paul McGrath and McAteer and Sheedy, will all you be pulling out of challenges on Saturday or on all those other games you mentioned as well? Or?
Yes, definitely. What you don't lose your winning mentality. You might lose your legs, but the brain, the footballing brain. And as we've done an interview this morning on the East Coast, and myself and Alan McLaughlin, and as Macca says, when these games are coming around, they're going out and they're doing road runs and they're going to the gym because these are all right. We're all a little bit overweight from the time when we played at a top level, but you really want to be still giving 100% because people are paying a few bob to come and have a look, and it's a family day out, and one thing you don't want to do is let yourself down.
Okay, and Paul Byrne, former Ireland, Celtic and Bohemians midfielder, thanks very much for joining me this afternoon.
No, can I just say as well, it's going to be a great day at Kilbogget Park. Cabinteely Football Club are an exceptional club. The committee are so professional in what they do and how they're going about it. It's going to be a great day, a great sunny day. Barbecues, face painting, bouncy castles. It's going to be a really family day. Bring your kids along to Kilbogget Park on Saturday and see these legends that brought a lot of happiness to Irish people in the World Cup in '94, and let's all have a good day.
I'm sure there'll be plenty more happiness on Saturday as well. And don't forget, if you want to see Paul and all the Irish Legends team in action this Saturday, you can check out www.cabinteelyfc.com. The match is on 3 o'clock on Saturday in Kilbogget Park, or you can ring 01235 4343 for more info. I'm sure the Cabo lads won't go too hard on Aldridge, McGrath, Babb and of course Paul Byrne. So Paul Byrne, former Irish, Celtic and Bohemians midfielder, thanks very much for joining me this afternoon.